Today we are making these little design things. See that little S kind of shape thing? We're laying them out on the plywood so we can get as many as we can off of this one little piece of scrap plywood here. This is 1/2 inch though, and the original one we made was on a piece of 3/8. So we're going to have one that's actually 3/8 of an inch, and we screwed up here. See that extra cut there, that line? We got epoxy. That's the beauty of epoxy. You just fill all these little screw ups in, and it's like Bondo in a car body shop. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put this, and you've seen this on the Trimaran too, but we put this little, see how flimsy this is? This is just 1/4 inch back by the stairs. Well, that's obviously not going to work, so we beef it up. So we add this here, trim onto the side like that. See, this goes up here, all that goes in there, and then it's trimmed out like that. And then we have one on the inside also. So, but because the other ones are 1/2 inch, we're actually going to have a 1/2 inch in here and 3/8 here. But all the rest of them are going to be 1/2 inch, so they're going to be extra super strong. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We're cutting these like this, so they'll all fit in here. Nice little trim line, kind of a style, kind of a swoop here, like a wave. So it's all in the ocean, folks. And that's it. So we're going to cut those out, and then we'll have those all ready for when we're ready to start our next epoxy frenzy. So that's what we've done so far today. These guys just made the pattern for these, cut one out. This is our one that we trace onto the board, and then we start cutting. So we'll be back with more of these wavy things. Paradise. We now have these little sugar scoop strengtheners in here. Get them all cut, ready to go. All the sets are cut. We got two, one on the inside, one outside here, and then we'll fill all this with epoxy, this gap, because it's got to come up to here and flush, and this will all be epoxied, and we grind it down to where it's smooth and symmetrical and all that stuff, and then we'll be fancy. So that, my friends, whoops, that one fell down. So that, my friends, is basically what we're doing today, getting these things done. And we also cut the center supports for the bottom of the hull. But yeah, we had to cut 8 sets of these and tune them and tweak them so they all fit, because like I said, this is a handmade boat, so every part is kind of unique. Shouldn't be, but it's not assembly line cookie cutter stamp style, even though we do try to cookie cutter. We cookie cuttered all of these, and then we modified them to fit each individual side of the sugar scoops. So we will be back with more Catamaran Dingy. I'm a mess now. We got lumber all over the place. This is the 3/8 that we was using to make those. We used 3/8. The 2 on the outside are 3/8, and all the rest are 1/2. Only because that's the lumber we had that was scraps that we could make them out of. So difference between, and 1/2 is better than 3/8, but I was going to do 3/8 all the way across, but now it's a little bit beefier on the insides. So we will be back with more from my paradise on Bantayan Island. Paradise out with a bunch of wood in the boat. Folks, so in the last scene, like a movie scene, we had a whole mess of epoxy that we didn't know what to do with. But one of my plans in the back of my mind was to beef up these sides here, because we only got this little 1x4 and a 1/4 inch piece of plywood holding the side. And I'll show you something else. Whenever we, and that 1/4 inch plywood is what's forcing this to curve. But I'll show you something that I don't like, that this is going to fix. Cracked. It's cracked right there. So this is a very weak spot here. There's no structure holding this plywood at all. This board is cracked. So by putting that strip along the edge, we've double reinforced it. and I feel better, and I actually think it looks good too. But yeah, it strengthens that top gunnel. We're talking Botox again, boys and girls. Gunnel. We're talking gunnel. And I will shape this thing here. I'll cut this back in some kind of a shape, some kind of a stylistic thing. But that right there is going to do what I've been wanting to do ever since I first saw that crack. And this one's got a similar crack in it too. And it's not here where we're going to beef it all up. It's back here. Right here. Right here. We got another kind of a, I don't know if that's just an indentation from the hammer or if that's a crack right there. But I don't like it either way. But now we're beefed. We're beefy. Beefy. Big, bad, big good, and beefy. Hey there, everybody. Guess what we're doing today? Sanding, grinding, whatever you want to call it. But what I'm doing, I'm kind of smoothing the edges on stuff. See, we put all this on here, but the factory finish on these is a really sharp edge. So I'm sanding it and grinding it. Also putting a nice finish on the top here because this is all going to be painted and it needs to be smooth because the normal state of the wood is slightly rough. So anyway, I'm going to go into here because from here to there it gets covered and then I got to do that. So anyway, sanding all along here. I'm not sanding this edge here because I think we're going to epoxy, fill in epoxy here, and we may try to do like a little 45 or something there, and I'll have to come back and grind that again another day. So for now, I'm just doing these top edges and the bottom edge here where this is not sharp. Also going to do this edge here all the way across. I'm working on the stairs right now, just kind of rounding down. Another reason, well, there's a couple of reasons for doing the stairs is number one, when somebody hits your shin on, it doesn't cut them open and then the sharks smell the blood and they start cutting. I have been a busy beaver. What I've been doing, or maybe you saw it earlier, is rounding all the edges here. Make them nice and smooth on the stairs. Sanding, preparing this here for the epoxy lacquer thinner mixture. We also put the epoxy here on the side to transition this over. Today we're doing gunnel strengthening because, as you saw on that side, or maybe you didn't or didn't see, depends on how I edit the video. But anyway, this is only this little thing here, and these things can crack, as we see right there and over there. They're both cracked, this top piece. So we're adding this outside piece here to strengthen the gunnels, and then we'll be good. Then after that, we're going to put these little curlicues, little design things on the sides here, go down and out there up to here. We'll sandwich this 1/4 inch with a 1/2 inch little design and stiffener doodads, but you'll see that. That's next. Folks, we are now in the midst of putting these little guys on. See them? The little curvy and strengthening up here. This is only a 1/4 inch thick stuff, so we got that one on there. And once the epoxy dries, I'll take a grinder to it and kind of reshape them, get them nice and the proper curvature, and take the bumps out and stuff like that. So we'll get all that straightened out. So we're on the next to the last one over here. We got everybody's busy scraping epoxy, slathering epoxy on. We're doing all kinds of stuff. But I need to make some more epoxy, honey.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta make some more epoxy. We got our last one there, but we only got that much there.
It's hard already.
Okay, well you can use that for all your work, all your plugging holes and stuff, honey. Okay, so I gotta go mix epoxy, and we'll be back with more My Paradise on Bantayan Island. Those little sugar scoop strengtheners. Well. What did we get done so far today? We got this side gunnel extra support on there. We filled in this angle because there's like a 90-degree angle here, and we filled it all in with epoxy. It's not finished. When it dries and stuff, then we can grind it and make it all smooth. We got all the stairs in. Of course, they're not smooth either, so all that gets done with a grinder. But we got the stairs, little S-shaped thingies on there. And again, all this is rough work at this point in time because we gotta let the epoxy dry and then grind it. You can't smooth it. You could smooth the epoxy if you get your fingers wet and rub it for a long time, but I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna grind it off real quick and it'll be done. Or maybe not real quick. Maybe it'll take a while. I don't know. But anyway, I'm grinding. So we got these done here. All these yesterday, I think it was. We got, or a couple days ago, we got this one on this side, 1x2 right here on. The other thing we need to do is, honey, I got epoxy right there on my pants. No problem. See if you got a knife, you can scrape it. Honey, don't rip my pants.
I'm gonna
See, well, I don't know. That's the whole point. If you can't, you can't. If you can't, you can't. So I got epoxy on my pants. Now the next thing we got to do, or one of the next things we got to do, is put the piece of plywood that goes up here to here. We got to curve it and lay it down to, and it goes to about right here. So from here to here will be a piece of 1/4 inch. We're going to use this 1/4 inch that we cut out of the side here. We're going to cut up one of these squares out and mark it, lay it up on here and mark it and cut it. And we got to get it wet. You got to soak it overnight in water and make it flexible. And then we can flex it to here and epoxy and nail it in. And same with that side, of course. And then we got to cut another piece of trim, a 1/2 inch piece of plywood trim that goes up here all the way to the top. Just kind of follows the edge because that's going to overhang slightly on both sides, and then we'll fill that in with a 1/2 inch piece of trim, just like the back stairs, exactly like that. The same kind of thing where we put it on the side. And same here, we got to put it from here up all the way to here, bend it and flex it, and again it's got to get wet on that. Well, we are now putting the stylistic tip on these and also strengthening it. We doubled up on, we put 1/2 inch plywood on both sides of the nose here. I call it the nose, the tip here. This thing here. We've got these things here that go on the sides here to add strength to it and also to blend it in with this here. And then we got to get some plywood wet, 1/4 inch, and lay it up here in this curve and all the way up to there, and then all that connects to all this that we're adding on now. So that's it. Honey, what are you saying?
no, so that you need 2 nails.
No, more nails here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing more nails. Okay. So that, my friends, is how you beef up the tip of your 3-cut racing boat. 3-cut racing trimaran. You could call it that. Dingy sounds kind of cute, but 3-cut trimaran might sound more fancy. I don't know. Oh, I got a chicken here flopping around, and he's blowing so much wind it feels cool. You got a nice breeze from the. Honey, what do you? Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay. So we're bracing this so it doesn't vibrate or spring as he nails it. And these are bronze nails, so they're really soft. I mean, they're not like an iron nail. And even an iron nail you'll bend, but these bronze ones you really bend. A lot of them. And they have round heads too. They don't have flat heads, they have round heads, which doesn't make a bit of sense. You've got a nail that bends easily, and you put a round head on top of that to make your hammer slide off all the sides. It's crazy, folks. So we got that one done. And I'm going to go and help them put that that set on that one over there. So Paradise out. So anyway, if you want to see basically what we have here, we just kind of widened that tip, and later on we'll fill all these little gaps in with epoxy and stuff. Once we put the plywood on here, we'll fill everything in with epoxy, so there's no holes, no gaps. So anyway, Paradise Let me see if I can show you the tip. Paradise out. I think we got the sort of finished product. It's not ground yet. We have to, like I said, lay a 1/4-inch piece of wet plywood. We're soaking it now. We're going to soak it all night long, and that makes the 1/4-inch plywood flexible. And then we'll flex it up here and all the way up. She's cleaning up here. We got to fill in. See these little gaps here, these little holes here. We got to fill those in with epoxy, but we're letting the epoxy kind of get more clay-like, so we can fill it in there without it trying to run and sag. So we'll do that, and we'll be back with more of My Paradise on Bantayan Island. We got part of the tips sort of done. Paradise out. We are doing some of the trim work now. You see the boat's pretty much constructed as far as the major parts, and now we're doing trim work. And one of the trim things we do is we take a piece of this 1/4-inch plywood, we soak it in water for a day or two and make it soft, so it'll conform to this curvature of the bow. We put a C-clamp on there and probably another one here, and pull this in tight, epoxy, nail it, put another one here and bend it over to the tip here, and then we nail these bad boys on both sides. So that's what we're doing right now. We got the epoxy mixed, we got these cut to shape, and we are gonna get busy, folks. So we're gonna go do these tips, and we'll be back. Oh, I don't know if you saw this part when we did this part here. We did this. You do this. You reinforce this tip. We put 1/2-inch plywood on each side, and made like a 1 inch or 1 inch and a 1/4 inch little shape here to strengthen this tip, because there's not much in there. Usually there's not much. I've beefed it up. You can see we got nails all the way out here, because these are full of solid 2x4s that I trimmed down and slid them in there so they fit perfect, like putting your foot in a shoe kind of a thing. So anyway, epoxy time, folks. So we did this, now we do this. Paradise out. All right, folks, you can see the action here. Putting on this little tip thingy. We're getting it all snug down. These big nails will pull that thing right in. Is that okay, or does he need smaller, honey? What size does he need? Does he need smaller nails?
Yeah, you need smaller.
Huh? Are these smaller? I think I've got smaller nails here. Are these smaller?
Smaller na kaya?
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's smaller.
Okay. Yeah, and you tell them try to drive these in, so when we put the epoxy on, tell him
Doot kunog ayo kuya kay aron tang epoxy.
Drive those in deep.
Doot.
Yeah. Now we can put this one on. We're gonna clamp this tip down and roll it into place. Get it where it needs to be. Hopefully it don't try to slip off while we're nailing it. We'll see what we can do here. Maybe 1 inch. Yeah, honey, come in here. Honey, would you not try to hold that thing so tight? We're trying to come in on this edge here. We're trying to get out here where there's nothing. There we go. We put some 1 inches in. Yeah. And another 1 inch on that side. Tack this tip down real good. Thing is, the wood's real thin, so we can't really put a big nail in, but these little 1 inchers work pretty good. And now we can take off that, and we're good. We'll let the epoxy fill in the gaps. Okay. So there we be. We'll scrape that epoxy off, let it fill in the gaps, and then I'll come back and either grind or trim this edge flush with here and with the sides of this trim work that we have. So it should be we're laughing, folks. We're laughing. We got to work on the next one now, but that one turned out amazingly nice. So we're going to put a, yeah, I just grind it. Yeah. We're putting a little bit of nails in here. Add to it because there's a lot of spring on this. And we're trying to not get the nails to pop through the epoxy that I did such a nice job on and crack it, because I made a nice little, kind of like a little color curve all along there. Takes talent, folks. A lot of time, of practice and good luck. But anyway, we're going to finish nailing this one in, and then we're going to go to town over here. So Paradise out. Okay, this one is all nailed in and epoxied, and we got to let it dry, and then I'll do some grinding work on that and smooth. And I also got to trim these sides. See this edge that sticks past and this edge that sticks past. I got to get the skill saw or the grinder and trim those over that overhang there. Get that right. Same on this one here. This one's just about in. We are now figuring out a way to put 2x4s under here. So we've cut and chiseled this piece here to fit and to also be notched under this 1x2. So it goes under the lip of this. So it won't come up anymore because it's under the lip of this. These two edges are. And we have to make this. We're going to put a 2x4, we think, across here. All right, everybody. After thoughtful analysis, I've decided I'm going to basically do what appears to be an extension of this all the way across to here, over to this, and be like locked in under here and that. And then all these 2x4s are going to come in and butt into the underside of here. So I basically cut this here because I'm going to slap this 2x4, wherever it is, this one here, as an extension of that one. And then we're going to nail it and epoxy it into here, which is a good solid place to nail and epoxy. And then we're going to notch it and put it under here too. And then at that point, because right now this piece here is not cut to length because we can't, because we don't know where the end is and we don't know how it ends. So the end of this is going to be angled, see, like that, and butt up against the underside or the inside of this 2x4 going on across at an angle like that. It's going to be the same angle as that board is, which is the same angle as this plywood here relative to the rest of the boat. So I'm going to chisel this out. I took the saber saw and cut as much as I could cut artistically, and now I've got to chisel and figure out how to get the rest of this wood out so it's a nice clean cut. But that's the easy part. I got a chisel, I got a hammer, and I can do it. Paradise. Okie doke. We have now chiseled, cut and chiseled saber saws in an artistic fashion. This here, and we're gonna butt this 2x4 here up against here, thusly. Okay, after notching, cutting, notching, cutting, cutting, notching, and notching and cutting, we got this bad boy in here. See, so it pretty much looks like a continuation of that going here. So we got one done. Oh, I didn't show you the artwork here. So this is basically how we had to cut it and notch it and everything. This end's fine. This end, I obviously had to match that top angle there. And then this slides in under here. That goes in there. And I've got one hand, so I'm not doing it beautifully. And then this guy goes up here. That guy goes down. So roughly, that's it. Just looks like a continuation. And then the wood that we put on here, that piece of wood right here, will go here, roughly, like that, over to here. And then, of course, we'll cut it right here in line with this so that it
it ends up with this edge, with the top edge of that board coming across. And then we got to trim these sides in too. But I made it too big because I didn't know where this would end. I didn't know how far down or up this would end. And the further up it goes this way, the more skinny this thing gets. The further it goes down that way, the wider this thing gets. So I left about an inch overhang on. I got to give you the full shot. There's chickens flapping. These are all the chickens, by the way. So all that noise you hear, this is it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And over there where I can't even see them, you can hear that one. That's 7. There's 8. Right there. There's 9. That's the good looking one. There's 10 right there. So, and that's 11 that we can't see, and there could be another 30 out there. Who knows? This is cockfighting country here. When I say cockfighting country, I mean the Philippines, not Cebu Island. They all, everybody, even my brother-in-law where I stay, he's got, his brother-in-law has, I don't know, half a dozen out in the yard, but right now they're all gone, so I don't know if he sold them or what. But anyway, enough chicken talk. Let's go back to catamarans. I like that. That's more fun. So anyway, here we are. Catamaran, I'll kind of get close to so it fills up the screen and looks big and beautiful, stylish. Paradise. So yeah, so we got the cross thing there. You can see where it goes, and the other one goes right here. So tomorrow we'll do that one and get that done, and then we'll work on getting all the 2x4s cut. This is the 2x4 here, and then we got a couple of short pieces, but you'll see. We'll see how all that works out. Mañana. That's Espanol for tomorrow. Paradise. It looks like we have got our little front bow reinforcement here. Look at that. Solid 2x4s, folks. It's just propped up there with some wood, so if I touch anything wrong, the whole house is going to crumble. The house of dominoes is going to crumble. And then this piece here goes in here, right here, against all that. I got to tap it in, but I can't tap it in because everything will fall. But basically, that's my front bow right there, solid as a rock. And then I'll put a cleat. Well, then we'll put that 3/8 inch plywood on top here, deck it with that. And then we'll drill through here and put a cleat here. And we'll do the same song, second verse over there. So, as you can see, we've got it all notched and grooved. We'll fill this hole in with epoxy because we can't. I don't think we could have put it on there with that filled. Also, this one here will raise up. It's just, like I said, we've just got it propped up with some wood. Any gaps we have, we fill with the epoxy. And then it'll be like a solid block. I'm surprised we got this as uniform as we do. And we got the angle perfect for the backs of these boards here. Match up perfectly with the back angle up here. And we're nailed from here through here into these guys. And because we added this extra wood here, we can nail through here into these guys. And also from here into these guys. And from here, of course, into this guy. Put 2, like right there. Big nails, and then we'll be solid. We'll be golden. Today are putting in these little bow covers, but they're more than a bow cover. They're actually where the cleat goes. So that's why they're all 2x4, heavy duty, super stuff here. And you can put down in here too. Yeah, here. Yeah, we got nails here. We'll put one more right here in the tip. Yeah, same on that side. Yeah, so we're gonna get all these nailed in. We're putting the super beauty nails in there. We're doing the sort of finishing nailing on this one here. We got the connection. Last thing we do is we have to trim this to size and put that on top. So we're doing heavy duty nailing, making sure everything's in. Well, folks, here we are doing the port side. That's boat top for left side. Yeah, we got it all in here where we need to be. We're just doing the final nailing. This one is done with all of the structure. And then we got the cosmetic cover, that's structure too, but more. We gotta put a nice plywood top on here. Well, this is what we did yesterday. Not all of it, but we attached these plywood, added the plywood on top of the 2x4 front bow deck thingy here. And today, because all the epoxy dried, we can grind it so it transitions into the rest of the boat smoothly. Doesn't have a sharp edge like that. That's got the sharp edge. That's got the sharp edge there, you can see. But we're grinding it down so that it blends into there on both of these. And then once I'm done there, I've kind of got it blended in here. So once that's done, then we're going to epoxy primer this, and we're also, and of course that one, and then we also got to do that floor again too. I don't think we got enough on that floor. And then after that, then we, not epoxy primer, epoxy lacquer thinner, waterproofing this, that, and add some to that floor there, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm gonna get back to my grinding, and we'll be back with more. Look at the bows, huh? Heavy duty